Hey everybody, hope you guys are healthy and safe. So this is the Vivo X300 Ultra. You guys know I'm excited about this guy. I've only had this phone for 20 hours at the time of me making this video, so this is not a full review. I will have more fully formed opinions in my next video. This video will be a first hands-on, first impressions, and a rundown of the specs and differences versus the X300 Pro and last year's X300 Ultra. So this guy is launching in China today. I'm in Yunnan, China right now, and it will launch globally, including Europe and Southeast Asia, but we don't know when. So if you don't want to wait, you want to import the phone from China right now, you'll probably get a better price than the European unit. Also, if you want to import, I would recommend my friend Trinity Electronics in Hong Kong. I have a bunch of YouTuber friends who've ordered from them in the US, in Europe, and they said the phone got to them within 48 to 72 hours. I'm not getting paid for this, he's just a friend. I just thought I'd give him a shout out. So the Vivo X300 Ultra, what's new? So the camera system got an upgrade, obviously. 2 of the 3 lenses are using new sensors. The main camera, it's using a brand new 200 megapixel Sony LYT-901 sensor. This is a 1/1.1 inch sensor, so it's an almost 1 inch sensor. So it's a larger sensor than the main camera in last year's X300 Pro and X200 Ultra, and it also has more megapixels, 4 times the megapixels for pixel binning. The aperture here is f1.85, so it's actually a little bit slower than the main camera here, f1.7, but being a much larger sensor and having more megapixels, I think that will more than make up the difference. The periscope zoom lens also got an upgrade. This is now using the Samsung ISOCELL HP0, so it is yet another iterative upgrade on the HP9 camera that Vivo first used in the X100 Ultra. This is still at this time the largest periscope zoom lens sensor yet at 1/1.4 inch. Although if you go by the sensor size, it is the exact same as the last several Vivo flagship now, the X300 Pro, the X200 Ultra, the X200 Pro, the X100 Ultra all have zoom lens with the exact same sensor size. On top of that, the aperture of the periscope zoom lens at f2.7 is actually a little bit slower than last year's X200 Ultra, which had a f2.3 aperture. So on paper, if you just go by specs, it's actually a slight downgrade. But I spoke to Vivo camera engineers and they assure me that this is the best zoom lens they have ever used because it is a brand new sensor. It can apparently handle HDR better. It has a better image processing pipeline. It has better stable optical image stabilization, and Vivo has developed a new software algorithm for all 3 cameras. Now the ultra-wide camera is the exact same sensor used in last year's X200 Ultra. It's a 50 megapixel Sony LYT-818 1/1.3 inch sensor. So for an ultra-wide camera, this sensor is absolutely gigantic, 1/1.3 inch. The X200 Ultra's ultra-wide camera is the best in the business, and this guy's going to continue that trend. Alright, so check this out. This is my hotel bathroom. It's very dark. I have the X300 Pro right here. So this is the X300 Pro. And I'm going to take an ultra-wide. The ultra-wide lens on this guy is not that strong. Look at how dark the viewfinder is. And I need to turn on night mode just to get an ultra-wide shot with the X300 Pro. Now the X300 Ultra with that much larger ultra-wide sensor. You see, first of all, the viewfinder can actually show me the bathroom. And I only need a night mode that's like very fast. This is a very short night mode. And if you're wondering how the iPhone's ultra-wide is going to look, this is how the iPhone looks like too. I already took the camera out last night at like 3 a.m. for some low-light photography and videography. And you can see that when it comes to the zoom lens and ultra-wide, this guy just completely stomps all over the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Like this is the iPhone 17 Pro Max right here. And look at the difference in quality when you're talking about telephoto or ultra wide photos or videos in low light conditions. When it comes to the main camera, I think Vivo still wins, but the gap closes a little bit because at least the iPhone's main camera, it's a relatively large sensor, but the iPhone's zoom sensor and ultra wide sensor, it's objectively weak compared to the Vivo X300 Ultra or any recent Chinese Ultra phone, if we're being honest. Are you watching ultra wide camera footage with the Vivo X300 Ultra and the iPhone 17 Pro Max? This is ultra wide, low light obviously, and also the audio you're hearing is just coming from the internal mics of the phone. How do I sound right now? Now I'll switch to the main camera. So the iPhone's main camera is going to be wider because it's 24mm. Vivo's at 35mm, so it's much tighter. And we'll do a zoom lens. So now the iPhone zoom is going to be tighter because it's 4x, whereas Vivo's like 3.7x. So now the iPhone zoom is going to be much tighter because 100 millimeter, whereas Vivo's is 85 millimeter. But you know, I'll bring the Vivo up to 100 millimeter to close it up. So right here, just from the viewfinder, I see the iPhone zoom footage is significantly noisier, man. Back out to the main camera. But of course, with Vivo cameras, it's not just about hardware, because I think Vivo's software image processing has been the best in class for years, particularly the tones and the colors. I think if you follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, you see me gush and rave about Vivo's like color science going back to like the X70 Pro Plus phones. Like I really like that. I call it like the hipster ass vintage filter back then. And then since then, I've started using the negative film filters. The thing is, with a Vivo phone, it's not just a mere filter like just about any other phone. Because with Vivo, if you pick the color profiles, you have to pick it before you snap the shot. Once you snap the shot, you cannot change to another color profile. That is not the case with an iPhone, with a Samsung, with even Xiaomi or Oppo phones. All of those phones, whatever picture profile, you can snap the photo and change them later. That means those are merely filters that's being slapped on top of a finished image. With Vivo, you cannot switch picture profiles after the fact because the color science and the tones that Vivo has built for its camera system, it's baked into the software as you're taking the image. So the processing begins at a raw level, and after it's processed, you cannot change it. And that's the biggest difference that sets Vivo cameras apart from other cameras. I think everybody will agree the tones and colors in Vivo cameras have just been jaw-dropping over the years. So what's new this year is Vivo obviously added a couple more picture profiles, including, they call it like a new natural mode that according to Vivo will try to turn down any digital sharpening, any over HDR to make the image feel as raw and organic like a normal film camera look as possible. I've tested a little bit, but I need to do more testing. But here are samples. I do think they look pretty good and the texture looks quite natural. I just love Vivo's color science and tones. So one of the big upgrades with the X300 Ultra this year is Vivo has carried those picture profiles over from still photography to videography. So now when you jump into the video camera app, you have the option to add these picture profiles to your shot, and then you can film videos with those colors and tones. And just like with the pictures, you have to pick it before you shoot. It's not just a filter that you slap on after the fact. It's actual color and tonal changes at a raw level. So you can see I've been able to shoot some very stylized videos with the Vivo X300 Ultra using these picture profiles. And even when you're shooting with the picture profiles, you can still shoot at 4K resolution. You cannot do that with Oppo or Honor's latest flagships. Both of those phones, if you shoot video and you try to apply a filter to it, it drops down to 1080 automatically. But then of course, if you want to adjust colors yourself, Vivo has had the best log video capabilities in Android phones for the past few years, and Vivo's upgraded even more this year. So this year, the X300 Ultra supports APV log. It's a new log format that has super high bitrate. I actually have to check the spec sheets because like there were just too many numbers for me to remember. So the APV log, it's a 10-bit log with up to 1200 megabits per second in terms of bitrate. That's a higher bitrate than on most Sony cameras. Like the Sony camera that I shoot with, the ZV-E1, the bitrate's not even half as high as this. The bitrate is so high, in fact, that you really need an external hard drive to shoot in APV log. The good news is, if you don't want to shoot at such high bitrate, you can drop down one level to the second tier log, and this still shoots at 600 megabits per second, which is still higher than a Sony camera and still higher than on any other Android phone, and I believe higher than the iPhone too, because the iPhone previously had been the gold standard for log video recording on a phone, and Vivo is trying to challenge that. I will definitely do more testing in my later videos, but I've shot some log footage so far. They look great. You can shoot log on all three lenses now, and you can switch lenses on the fly, which was again something you couldn't do before. Before, if you shoot log, you can only like shoot at one lens, and if you switch lens, you have to stop and restart the video. You can now switch lenses on the fly. So basically you can shoot 10-bit log up to 4K 120 FPS with all three lenses on the fly. In fact, if you watch my first teaser video on this phone from MWC, Vivo made it clear that with the X300 Ultra this year, they're focusing on improving the video capabilities because Vivo thinks it's still photography, it's already the best in class. So even though they improved the still photography a little bit, most of the upgrades this year really went to videography. So in addition to all the stuff I just mentioned, there's also a new Pro video mode that gives you a interface that resembles a cinema camera. You'll see that, you know, if you handle cameras like the Aria Alexa, you'll notice this interface is very similar. And in this mode, you shoot in log always, and you shoot at 4K 24 FPS for the cinematic feel. On top of that, you can also input custom LUTs into this app, and you can just apply the LUT after the fact when you're done filming. You don't have to take it into, say, Final Cut Pro or DaVinci Resolve to add the LUT there. But of course, you know, with a Vivo phone, particularly Ultra phone, there's going to be accessories. So there's a new camera case this year that you just snap it on like this, and then that will support two add-on lenses. So you have a 200mm lens. This lens you've seen before, but Vivo redesigned the form factor, redesigned the lens structure to make it a little bit smaller than before. And then there's this bigger guy. This is a 400mm lens. So I mean, it's not a 400mm lens, but it basically, you snap this onto the 85mm lens here, and then it will turn it into a 400mm lens. It will give you 400mm optical zoom. So 400mm optical zoom for a normal smartphone, that would be like 30 something times zoom, man. But for the Vivo Ultra, because the main camera shoots at 35mm, so that's more like a 22 times zoom. But you can go further because 400mm, it's the optical zoom range. You can do it in sensor crop to get 800mm, or you can get up to 1200mm or 1600mm. As you can see right here, they look really good. And Vivo said they spent a lot of time improving the optical image stabilization module in the periscope zoom lens. So you can see even at like 800mm and 1200mm, which is really long zoom, stabilization is really good. You can see right here, I'm holding the phone with one hand at like 800mm, at 400mm, and the footage on the viewfinder is still stable. So if you're someone who goes to a lot of concerts or sporting events, or you like to shoot like wildlife, this 400mm lens is awesome, man. It's going to be the best zoom lens on the market right now. Now, Oppo does have an Ultra coming, and they may have a lens that can rival this one. We don't know yet, but as of right now, this is absolutely the best mobile zoom photography or videography kit on the market. 400mm, man. 1200mm. And look at the stabilization, it's quite good. Oh wow. Look at the switch in focusing. You know, talk about the camera kit and the lenses a little bit more in the next video, because for this first hands-on, I want to focus more on just the phone. So elsewhere, obviously this phone got a new chip, the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. So it's the newest and best chip available on Android right now. And I like that this phone maintains a slightly boxier look. If you look at the corner radius, it does not curve as drastically as the Vivo X300 Pro. The Vivo X300 Pro has taken the shape similar to every Android phone on the market right now. They all have this very rounded corner that's similar to an iPhone. So I'm happy to see that Vivo has kept this more slightly less rounded corner. It just makes for a more professional looking phone. It's a completely flat panel, obviously, OLED panel, 1 to 120 hertz, 2.5K resolution, so beautiful panel to look at. You have a 3D ultrasonic fingerprint scanner in there, IP68 and 691 dust resistance, and the battery is a little bit larger, 6,600 mAh compared to 5,800 mAh here and 6,000 mAh in the X200 Ultra. Now 6,600 mAh should be large enough to last me a full day, but I will have to put it to the test because I thought the X300 Pro's battery life was a little bit disappointing for me. Of course, Oppo is going to give us like a 7,000 mAh phone, so I wish Vivo would step up to 7,000 too. But you know, I think Vivo and Oppo, they're battling, and each brand is giving us something that the other brand is missing. Like, I'm pretty sure the log video capabilities here is going to beat whatever Oppo's doing, but at the same time, Oppo's giving us larger batteries too. But ultimately, when these brands compete, man, we the consumers win. Like the upcoming Oppo Find X9 Ultra is going to have an epic camera system too. So that and this guy and the Xiaomi 17 Ultra with the low fix sensor, you have three excellent Ultra phones that each give you different feature sets and different offerings, and they're all going to be really awesome, man. And this is why it's so fun covering Chinese Ultra phones. That's about it for this first hands-on with the Vivo X300 Ultra. I will be back with more content, definitely. I will do a dedicated camera shootout between this guy and the Find X9 Ultra when I get my hands on that, pretty soon, so stay tuned. And if you're interested in keep up to date with the latest in consumer tech, please subscribe to my channel. It will help me a lot. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.